All right. All right, people, what's going on? It's your man, Tim Black. Thank you for tuning into Black Word Today. Black Word Today. Come on, guys. Can you say it with me? Black Word Today. You guys, hey, look, it's been a minute since we've done this. But I got so much stuff that I need to cover today. It's horrific. I got to get to it all. First, let me make sure people can hear me. Last show I did, Tuesday, people said they could barely hear the microphone. And it was crazy because people on Facebook were like, we good. But people on YouTube were like, I can't hear you. So that's never happened before. I don't manipulate volume on one platform. It's like all the same volume. So let me know, guys. Let me know what's up because I don't want to, I want to get it right. So my mic readings look good, but you never know, man. You can't count on this internet stuff to work right. It's free, so it works sometimes. Don't work all the time. Let me see who's out here in YouTube world, man. See what's happening, YouTube people. Brian Crosby, Michael, Mike. Kevin Urquhart says, sound is great. Low Key said, we hear you, Tim Black. I hear you too, Low Key. What's going on, my brother? Yogi Fish, Taj Marie, Uli's in the house. All right, guys. These stories, great to have you all, man. I'm glad you guys took time out your lives to check this out because I got a lot of information I want to give to you. And I don't know, man. You guys ready to dive into it? Clear the way. All right. I want to give a shout out to everybody, all my Patreons who are still with me. Thank you guys for hanging in there with me. Thank you to Momo Pineno for continuing to help out when you can. Thank you, Iron Man Eyes, all my moderators, all my people that lend a hand. You guys are fantastic. You're amazing. You're the reason why this thing keeps going and growing. In 2018, I still believe it's going to be our year. I'm not going to let nothing stop me. And, and for anybody who cares, we're on day 4 of the smoke quit. Day 4 of the smoke quit. So don't quit on me. I won't quit on you. And a couple people don't quit. I mean, if you I'm going to leave that there. All right. Hey, man, people got stuff going on in their lives just like I do, man. Lord knows I got a lot going on with me. All right, guys. You ready? Let's kill this. I want to understand this Putin story. I want to get a clear picture, a clear understanding of this Putin story. So bear with me as we try to figure this out together. Because from what I've been hearing, he was like making these. Do you have a dream? Some type of dream? It's a fantastical dream he came up with, and then he started talking about it, doing a speech. I want to understand. I mean, I really do. I really want to get, I don't want to just say he's nuts. I want to say, okay, I see his point. Putin describes Russian doomsday nuclear weapon in a wild speech to the nation. During his annual State of the Union address in Moscow on Thursday, Russian President Vladimir Putin boasted about the country's nuclear might. In doing so, he seemed to confirm the existence of a long-feared Russian doomsday device. The weapon is a torpedo that has been reported to carry a nuclear warhead. Radiation from the weapon could render large swaths of Earth uninhabitable for years. Uninhabitable for years. I hear you, Yogi Fish. Thank you, Yogi Fish. I appreciate you. Wow, no, Yogi Fish. Give it up for Yogi Fish, y'all. I'm shocked, man. I haven't got. Yogi Fish just hit me up with a super chat, guys. I appreciate that, Yogi. But I want to know, why is Putin, what are you trying to do? Back America off his ass? Is that what he's trying to do? Is he trying to let America know, hey, I'm a little tired of the sanctions, of the unfounded accusations? Is that what's going on here? It sounds serious. Listen. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Thursday boasted about the country's nuclear might and seemed to confirm the existence of a long-feared Russian doomsday device. Putin turned toward offensive nuclear-capable systems near the end of his annual wide-ranging State of the Nation address in Moscow, in which he also said Russia needed to spend heavily on improving conditions for average Russians. Yeah, that's the type of talk most people would react to positively, Putin. To talk about the citizens, not about war, not about guns, not about nuclear warheads, any of that crap. And I know we do it too. But I'm not speaking as a politician. I'm speaking as a regular citizen. I'll tell you, the people, we are moved by the conversation being about us and what's needed for regular citizens, not about dick measuring contest, manly measuring contest, testosterone measuring, or any of that other garbage that it seems like these so-called world leaders like to take part in. Putin described at least 5 new weapon systems, emphasizing how each could defeat U.S. missile defenses and characterizing nearly all of them as nuclear capable. But in typical fashion, Putin's description contained wild, scientifically unimaginable claims about how great the weapons were. So what you're trying to tell me is Putin does a lot of exaggeration as well. Trump and Putin probably got some things in common. Sell the sizzle, not the steak. You got to sell the sizzle, not the steak. And that's what Putin's doing here. I just want to tell all my friends out there who really get alarmed by stuff like this. They hear these types of conversations, nuclear powers talking about nuclear warheads, nuclear devastation, and then they have problems sleeping. Listen, as much as these braggarts like to imagine that they don't want to live, that they don't care to be alive anymore, the reality is a lot of them do want to live. And they do want their families to live. I do look at all of this through a grain of salt. Take a grain of salt with it. In fact, take a cup of salt with it, and just realize ain't nobody really trying to leave the Earth. I mean, not unless they got an escape hatch or escape space shuttle to Mars. So don't react to the BS. Develop tough skin and just realize a lot of this is talk. Okay? 90% of it is talk. And we do the same thing. So I'm not just saying Putin's Putin's a horrible. He may be horrible, but not because of this bluster. This is the same stuff that Trump does. Now listen to this. A computer-generated animation accompanied each weapon announcement. He's in a hologram. Perhaps illustrating that they exist mainly in a conceptual state. First, Putin mentioned a new intercontinental ballistic, which he claimed had unlimited range and could get past all U.S. missile defenses. Oh, okay. Yeah. The old make-up crazy claims to make self feel better. I mean, look, man, I know Putin has to be pissed, man. Like, we run his name in the mud in America. We've been blaming him, not all of us, of course, guys. They've been blaming Putin for everything from the dog went missing to who let the horses out, who left the lid up on the toilet. Like, we've been blaming Putin for everything. Stuff he didn't even know he did. He's like, what? I did that? How'd I do that? I didn't even know. I thought I was home in Russia. I didn't know I was even in America. I didn't know I told Hillary not to campaign in Michigan. I didn't know I told Hillary to sit it out in Wisconsin. Oh, my God. I didn't know I told Hillary to be married to Bill Clinton. Oh. It's funny, guys. It really is. Y'all want to hear more about the doomsday device? Putin seemed to confirm a long-feared doomsday weapon, an unarmed and unmanned undersea vehicle capable of carrying a nuclear weapon across oceans at high speeds. Previous reports of the weapon have stated it may be a dirty bomb or a nuclear weapon with additional metal in its core to keep radiation in the atmosphere for years. Previous reports of the weapon have stated it may be a dirty bomb or a nuclear. I already read that. The undersea weapons concept has been mocked as an over-the-top system with little purpose other than destroying massive swaths of life. You know, just when you're trying to imagine that all of us share a desire and an empathy for one another, empathy for humanity, you are reminded that that is not the case in all cases, that we have people that do not care much about humanity. And if you start really peeking across nations, you'll see that maybe we live in a fantasy world to a certain degree, depending on where you go. People are concerned about real things. People are starving and people are under attack, and safety is not always assured, just like in the U.S. But it kind of puts it in perspective, man. To me, it puts it in perspective. So I'm used to the barking because I look at this stuff all the time. But anyone who thinks that it's a good idea to threaten Trump with nuclear, I don't know, man. I just think that I'm kind of disappointed in Putin. I don't know him personally, obviously, but I'm kind of disappointed, Pootie. Come on, Pootie. I thought you knew the game, man. You know, like I thought you got it. I guess Putin's like, look, I gotta stay popular in my country. You guys are emasculating me with your bullshit over there in the United States, and I gotta do what I gotta do to maintain my ego around here. What I'm gonna do? Have to take out another 20 members of the press just to prove I don't play? All right, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Russia talking reckless. Putin talking reckless, y'all. Oh, man. Come on, Pootie. Come on, Pootie. Just for that, Tim Black, we want to invite you back to RT. All right. Okay, guys. Let me see what's going on, man. Let me make sure, because I always forget stuff. We got Marvin C in the house. What's up, Marvin? How you doing, my brother? Yogi Fish, once again. We're still here. We're still kicking out the content. I'm glad you guys could tune in. Anybody who's a member of my Patreon, thank you guys so much, man. And come on over to the show. Tomorrow, you know, we have a dial-in phone line where people get to call up and speak their piece. This next story, guys, it's got me kind of, I'm feeling a little weird about Trump these days, man. Yeah, I'm feeling a little weird. We got Trump, he's threatening tariffs, steel tariffs and aluminum tariffs, right? Which will be good for our manufacturers, right? And make it harder for other countries to like send in their goods, but it will also raise the price of goods. In fact, Toyota is warning that if Trump goes ahead with these tariffs on steel, that it's going to increase the price of a Toyota Camry. And I remember Dave Chappelle said, man, like Apple, like if we go along the way of making countries pay their fair share, or if we do away with the loopholes that allow countries like China to pay its workers $2 an hour, and we start employing people from the United States, well, iPhones will be very expensive. An iPhone really should cost you like $20,000, but it's that cheap labor that makes it still very expensive. But you know what I'm saying. So that's really got me perplexed about Trump, man, because I don't know what Trump's game plan is, man. Once I think I figured him out, he does something that I'm like, I don't know. And then I think I figured that out, then he does something else. And it's like, is he thinking? Or is he just doing shit? Is he planning or is he just doing? Listen to what I'm saying. Trump sides with the Democrats on gun reform. Who knew? Come on, man. Don't tell me you knew that. All right? The president's call on Wednesday to pass a comprehensive background check bill in Congress was met back on Capitol Hill with elation from proponents and skepticism from opponents or critics. Many of the critics were Republicans who questioned whether such a measure could ever pass. It could be a real mess, said Orrin Hatch, Republican in Utah, along with other lawmakers, which was fully televised. It would depend how it is written. It would depend how it is written. So Orrin Hatch kind of took delicate language there with Trump, because Trump is the president. He didn't just say, oh, get the hell out of here, Trump. He said, this could be messy, and it would depend on how it's written. So that sounds a lot more, come on, guys. If you've been around for a while, you paid attention to partisan politics, this is crazy. And I don't mean like a bad way. I mean, I'm just saying I could have never predicted this, that Trump would be talking this way. And then Orrin Hatch, I think Orrin Hatch was born with a Smith & Wesson up his butt cheeks. I think his mother fed him with a bottle that was shaped like a hand grenade. I mean, these people love this stuff, man. All right. The president's endorsement, which comes in the wake of the recent Dealey High School shooting in Florida, has added fuel to stalled efforts to pass any bill that enhances or bolsters the background check system for gun purchases. Trump also called on Congress to give us very serious thought to raising the age from 18 to 21 for assault-styled guns or rifles. All right, guys, hold on a second, man. Hold on. I'm very tired of my gun supporters making the continuous claim that there's no such thing as assault rifles. Dudettes, my people, it ain't about the name of the thing. The gun that looks that way, that shoots this amount. Now, I have become aware that there are guns that look a lot less menacing, that have the assault rifle style, or don't have the assault rifle style, but shoot the same exact type of artillery at the same rate. So, yes, I think those are good conversations to have. But let's not get caught up on words, man. You know what kind of gun we're talking about, and let's not play dumb. All right, we're talking about the kind of guns that have been used by certain people to wreak destruction, okay? So that's what we're talking about. And it's talking about just increasing the age. So let's keep going. What's this guy's name? Trump called on Congress to give very serious thought to raising the age from 18 to 21 for these assault-style gun purchases. But at the Capitol, however, the few Republicans were enthusiastically endorsing Trump's proposals. I wonder why. Representative Jim Jordan, a Republican out of Ohio, who's opposed to expanding background checks, said the current system is already plagued with due process problems that wrongfully prevent individuals from purchasing guns. He told the Washington Examiner after the meeting, "You certainly can't have bureaucrats taking away people's Second Amendment rights." You know what I find remarkable is there are people who think that these gun manufacturers, not the gun manufacturers, they're selling the product. It's up to the regulators, it's up to lawmakers to try to put some type of constraints, some common sense reforms into these, into these production lines. And just imagine if you had a car, you didn't have any oversight. Cars would be going 300 miles per hour. You could buy a bare bones car that didn't have brakes. I mean, come on, guys. Do you realize the advancements that have been made through laws, through regulation? But only when it comes to guns do people scream like, oh, we don't need regulation. You know, like we don't need regulation of guns. We do need regulation of guns. And we should look at the issue of age. Because I don't think everybody 18 years old is really smart enough to handle that responsibility. Now, I'm not one of those people that believe that if we restrict guns to 21, that means everybody's going to be fine and we're never going to have another mass shooting and people are going to stop dying and getting shot every weekend. I know it's going to take more than that, okay? But what I don't like is when people say, it won't help nothing. You got to prove it would help this particular situation or it means no good. Yeah, unless you can prove it would have prevented the last mass shooting, you don't want to hear about it. And all I'm saying is, as many shootings that we have, as many gun deaths as we have, every little thing that we can do helps. That's how I feel. I think there has to be a balance. We won't take away people's rights unless we pass the law, unless we as a country decide that we are ready to get over the gun thing, you know, which I don't see happening. In fact, my brother sent me a picture today of his new gun. He was like, look at this. You know? So he's happy as hell with his gun. All I'm saying is we got a long way to go. But stop acting as if, you know, one thing is going to solve all problems. It's not. But don't act like it wouldn't solve any problems, because it would. Senator Lindsey Graham told the Examiner the president needs to put his proposal in writing rather than simply instructing lawmakers to pass something. That makes sense. That makes sense. Stop talking, Trump, and have them work on some laws. I'm not going to say anything. Oh, here it goes. Trump told lawmakers to go back to the South, go back to the Capitol, and work out some beautiful foundation for legislation that could be I'm sorry. Work on some beautiful legislation, a beautiful foundation for legislation that could be expanded or narrowed. He even suggested a vote on an amendment by Senator Dianne Feinstein to ban assault-style weapons, including the AR-15 rifle, used in the most recent attack at the high school in Parkland. I'm not going to say anything until I get a detailed outline from the White House about what they actually are for. My advice to the White House is to put a pen in the pad and say what you want. Then I can tell you whether or not I will agree with it. So is Trump just testing the waters on this stuff, or is he seriously considering working with Democrats, trying to find like some middle ground? I'm surprised, guys. Now, I shouldn't be that surprised. Before Trump started running, he was mostly a Democrat, right? Like, he kind of talked over the years of being liberal, and then he ran as a Republican, and now he's got mostly conservative talking points and conservative executive orders. But there was always that side that was like up in the air. We didn't know what he was going to do. Said Trump crazy. Like, Trump could go either way. And this may be one of those situations. What will Trump do with guns? I just like to remind everybody, and I know some of you have heard it many times, but let me just remind you that once upon a time, the Democratic Party did have the House and the Senate and the White House, and they passed no sweeping firearms gun reform. Okay? We did have that. And I always looked at it like, oh, you think Trump's going to come in and do what Obama didn't do or couldn't do, whatever, right? And it's possible he might. Now, that may seal his that may hurt him a lot in 2020, but I don't know. All right, guys.
Motherfucker, sit down.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
All right. It's tough, man. I'm telling you, man. Sometimes this nicotine withdrawal just gets you. I get lost in my head a little bit. It's like neons or eons or whatever are firing like, oh man, this is what life is like without having that nasty stuff like running our lives, controlling our every moments. Let me take a story that's a little shorter real quick. Let me hit this because I saw this and I made a tweet about it. And check it out. You may remember last week, someone sent some stuff to the Trump home. Now, it was I think it was Trump Tower. It was Donald Trump Jr. Someone sent like these envelopes full of a white substance. You remember this? Okay. Turns out they found this guy. Oh, yeah, they found this son of a bitch. His name is Georgia Teacher. Georgia Teacher. I don't know his name yet, but I'll get to it. Georgia Teacher had previous run-ins with the law. Oh, no, this is the other guy. Hold on, I got two stories like this. Which one is this? Is this the teacher? No, this is the teacher. This is the gun. This is Sessions. Oh, here we go. My bad, guys. Okay, so I got like 18 stories. This story is about the weird substance that was sent to Donald Trump Jr. Okay? So, Momo, let me try that again. All right, you guys remember last week when someone sent Donald Trump Jr. and his wife some weird envelopes with white stuff in it? You may remember I said it had a little bit of white stuff in the envelope. Couldn't tell if it was baking powder or if it was Jeff Sessions hiding in the corner of the envelope because he's really small and really, really white. It probably... I'm not a big Jeff Sessions fan, man. But Massachusetts man has been charged in Trump Jr. hoax threat letter. All right? Here it is. Federal prosecutors in Boston on Thursday charged a Massachusetts man with sending a series of threatening letters containing a suspicious powder, including one addressed to U.S. President Donald Trump's eldest son. That's right. Daniel Frascilio, charged with sending a series of threatening letters containing a suspicious powder, including one addressed to U.S. President Donald Trump's son, Donald Trump Jr., appears in a booking photo. So they booked his ass today. The letter addressed to Donald Trump Jr. led to the Republican president's daughter-in-law, Vanessa Trump, being taken to a hospital after opening a letter on February 12th. Two other people also went to the hospital, but the white powder in the envelope proved to be harmless. Okay? So it was a hoax. No one was really hurt, but it's still a threat. And it also is illegal. So what happens to this guy? The first letter sent to Donald Trump Jr., addressed in Manhattan, contained a letter that read, in part, "You are an awful, awful person. You're getting what you deserve." Okay. and a hoax letter. Just to scare my family, huh? All right. Prosecutors charged Daniel Frascilio, 24, of Beverly, Massachusetts, with mailing a threat to injure a person, as well as false information and hoaxes for sending threatening letters to at least 5 different addresses. So it was 5. I didn't know it was 5 letters altogether. Who else did he send them to? Well, similar threatening letters were sent to Democratic U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow of Michigan, actor and Republican U.S. House of Representatives candidate Antonio Sabata Jr., interim U.S. Attorney for California Nicola Hanna, and a law professor at Stanford University, prosecutors said. So he kind of got around. He kind of mixed it up with the letters. That's what he did. All 5 contained threatening messages in a powdery substance that investigators found out not to be hazardous. So these kinds of hoaxes may not cause physical harm, but they scare the heck out of people because most of us recall the anthrax mailings back in the early 2000s when 5 people were killed. This is true. This guy, Frascilio, could be sentenced to up to 10 years in prison if found guilty of the most serious charge, that of mailing a threat. So, Mr. Facilio, what you think about Donald Trump Jr. or any of the Trumps or any of these people is, beside the point. You, sir, what you did was illegal. What you did was cowardly bullshit. You don't send a letter to someone's family, scaring the hell out of their kids. As a dad, I find you to be a punk ass. Okay? Politics aside, all politics aside, believe me, I don't like Donald Trump Jr. with the trophy hunting and all this crap he does. I don't like that at all. But that doesn't mean I like that I'm gonna let you slide, or that I would save you. That I would go light on you or go easy on your punk ass when you threaten someone's family. Donald Trump Jr.'s wife did nothing to you. Neither did their kids. So, you could look at it 10 years. So I hope it was worth it. I don't think it was, but I hope you think it's worth it. Give it up for that, guys. What's wrong with people, man? I don't get it. I don't get it. All right. Okay. Now can we go to this guy? Because this teacher barricaded himself in a classroom, right? And he shot a gun, right? What is wrong with dude? Why would you do that shit? I'm serious, man. Like, what is wrong with this guy? Georgia teacher had a previous bizarre run-in with police. Okay. A teacher arrested for firing a gun at school Wednesday had turned himself in previously, believing that he had caused the death of a person who might not exist. Oh, that's right. The notorious "I killed a ghost" defense. Listen here, buddy. You didn't kill anybody if there's nobody. All right? Sounds like you got some personal issues. And I hope those get rectified. Hope something can be worked out. Scary stuff, man. He killing people that ain't even there, guys. All right. His name is Randall Jesse Davison, a popular teacher and a sports radio personality in North Georgia, was taken into custody after barricading himself in a room at Dalton High School and firing a gun. I covered this on a tweet. Yeah, I covered it in a tweet, and people said, Tim, this seems too much like a coincidence. This must be a false flag. And see, this is why I be having problems with people, with the everything's a false flag people. What you need to realize, right, is something that I've come to realize in the last couple of years. And that something is, this is a huge country. Every day, lots of crazy things happen. So many crazy things happen that you never hear about. It does not require anyone to do anything. Do you realize how many child abductions, how many rapes, how many murders, how many shopliftings, how many people? I bet you there were at least 50 incidents of people stripping and running down the street butt naked in the U.S. There probably were 10 in New York by itself. Do you understand what I'm telling you? People tend to look at life very small. We tend to do this. We tend to look at life very small, and we think we only see the world as big as our neighborhoods. We only see the world as big as the people that get in our way on our way to work. But it's a lot bigger than that. And what I'm trying to tell you is it's something I realized a couple years ago as I got further and further into covering breaking news and news events. I realized that the world is huge, and you can pick any topic, and you can cover it every day. I could pick just, drive-bys. and I could just focus on drive-bys, and I could cover that every day, 365 days a year. Because somewhere in this country, there are multiple drive-bys that happen daily. You understand what I'm saying? But you don't think about it because you live somewhere else. And what I'm trying to get you to understand is, just because something happens and it gets picked up and you think it's a coincidence, it does not mean at all that that thing did not go down the way it went down. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people with guns. There are a lot of people who barricade themselves in places. There are a lot of stuff that happens. I did not realize it. The extent of the randomness that happens on a daily basis. But if your knee-jerk reaction will be every time you hear something and it sounds like someone mentioned something, if your knee-jerk reaction is that is a false flag or that is something that's being reported and it's not, things happen differently than the way it was reported, then you're going to be here all day, brother or sister. The world is just too big for that. So back to this guy. This guy, he had a mental issue. He wasn't put up to it. He's got problems maybe. Like, that's possible, right? We have a lot of people with issues. Does it really take a crisis actor for this guy just to be like, lock a door and shoot a gun? No. There are people who do way worse crap every day, and they're not crisis actors. They're just people who don't want to be on this earth anymore, or people who want to hurt other people, or people who are hearing voices. It happens, okay? What it says is, the officer's first run-in with the teacher involved his coming to the police. A report filed March 21st, 2016, explains that Davidson arrived in the lobby and said he wanted to confess to having someone killed. Okay, so that's the confession that he gave, okay? He sat down with a detective. He explained himself. The detective found no body. The mistress had kids and allegedly tried to continue the relationship, Davidson told police. Mistress, I don't know. I jumped ahead. What is this? He said he had been having an internet affair with a woman that he ended after a few weeks. He told his wife about it. The mistress had kids and allegedly tried to continue the relationship. Davidson told police at some point the woman became abusive to her children, he said, and two friends approached him saying they would take care of her for him. When he met with those friends next, he asked if they had scared her. They had done worse than that, Davidson said. Oh, God. This is... I can't read any more of that. The woman doesn't exist, neither does the kids, and this guy needs help. All right. I do not believe everything the way it's reported is always the way it happened. All right? I know that's true. But sometimes things are reported that do happen. And then sometimes we have people like this. You know? All right. Let's keep it moving, guys. We're not going to agree on everything. We just need to open our minds sometimes a little bit to you know, like, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. Stop thinking everything's fake. Okay, next thing. Now, I saw this and I meant to cover it earlier. I got caught up. I did a couple stories today, guys. You need to go to youtube.com and go to Tim Black TV and watch my, I put out two videos today, okay? Jeff Sessions, he pushed back at Donald Trump. Wow. Now, we know Jeff Sessions has been the punching bag for Donald Trump for quite some time. Ever since he recused himself in any prosecution related to Hillary Clinton and her emails. And Trump was like, if I knew you were going to recuse yourself, I would have got somebody else, man. You could have told me that when I hired you for the job. That's what he said for real. So Trump is headed in for Jeff Sessions, but apparently Jeff Sessions is like, I'm tired of taking it. I'm tired of you beating up on me all the time. I am ready to fight back. Now, Attorney General Jeff Sessions pushed back against President Trump and an insult on Wednesday, prolonging an increasingly awkward public spat between the president and his top law enforcement official. Trump chastised Sessions over an investigation into an alleged surveillance abuses, calling his approach disgraceful. Here goes the tweet that Trump sent. Why is Jeff Sessions asking the Inspector General to investigate a potentially massive FISA abuse? Will take forever, has no prosecutorial power, and already late with reports on Comey. Isn't the Attorney General or the Inspector General an Obama guy? Why not use Justice Department lawyers? Disgraceful. Yeah, so Trump laid into him right there. Like, Jeff, why don't you do the job the way I tell you to do the job, Jeff? Well, why can't you do what I want you to do and do it the manner in which I want you to do it? And responding to Donald Trump's tweet, the Attorney General said in a statement that the Justice Department initiated the appropriate process that will ensure complaints against this department will be fully and fairly acted upon if necessary. He says this, as long as I'm Attorney General, I will continue to discharge my duties with integrity and honor, and this department will continue to do its work in a fair and impartial manner, according to the law and Constitution. All right. So basically what Jeff Sessions is saying is, either fire me or get off my balls. That's right, fire me or get off my backside, Trump. That's it. I'm tired of this, Trump. I'm not going to let you treat me this way anymore. Previous times, Trump has insulted Sessions when calling for the investigation of Hillary Clinton, but this time he called for Sessions to go after Justice Department attorneys, which was a bridge too far, said the source. There is a process. We're following that process, said the source. Isn't the source a rap magazine? Boy, I haven't heard from so many sources. So, I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what happens with this. You know, will Trump replace Sessions? I don't know. Who's Trump gonna fire now? I don't know. I don't know. I make no bones about the fact that I'm not a Jeff Sessions fan. I think that this guy's trying to roll back all the progress made, any advancement towards ending the war on drugs, the failed war on drugs, the continuous racist war on drugs. He just doubles down on it. We have less crime than we've had in like the last 30 years. But here comes Jeff Sessions wanting to create more of it. And that civil asset forfeiture garbage, which is nothing but state-sanctioned theft and robbery of your stuff, he's ramping that back up. So Jeff Sessions is not a friend of mine. But I have to say, sometimes when the boss man is giving you a hard time, you have to stand up to him. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you got to stand up and say, hey, I got this. Now, if you're not going to do the job, I don't know, the way he wants you to do it, maybe life is too short even for Jeff Sessions. Maybe you should think about moving on. That's just realistic. I'm just being honest. I'm neither Republican or Democrat, remember? This show is not funded by the DNC or the GOP. I'm just saying, if you're unhappy, Jeff, why don't you just go ahead and tiptoe out the door? All right, guys. Oh, man. So much going on. I feel like we've been here for hours. I got a couple more stories, though, if you got time. If not, come back and watch later, because I'm going to do these. This might be good. know some people are pissed off because some companies are deciding to change how they handle guns. Kroger's has made an announcement. They say they will stop selling guns to buyers under the age of 21. Interesting, right? Kroger Company said it would stop selling guns to buyers under 21 years of age, though it's through its Fred Meyer locations, the third major retailer to tighten its policies while lawmakers continue to debate how to respond to the latest school shootings in Parkland. The U.S. largest supermarket chain said Thursday it would raise the minimum age to purchase arms and ammunition in all its Fred Meyer locations in response to the Parkland, Florida high school shooting. Now, Kroger currently sells firearms at 43 Fred Meyer locations in Alaska, Idaho, Oregon, and Washington. The U.S. largest supermarket chain said Thursday it would raise the minimum age to purchase arms and ammunition in all of its Fred Meyers in those states. Okay. First of all, I'm from the East Coast. I didn't know you could go buy some bologna and buy a Beretta. I didn't know you could do that. Didn't know. Yeah, can I get let me get turkey and Swiss sliced real thin, and let me get a Smith & Wesson too to go. We get Smith & Wesson. Yeah, you got a I don't know, bump stock back there? Just thought I'd ask. That's crazy. You don't find that crazy that you could buy those things together? That don't seem weird to you? That seems weird to me. Okay. Now, Kroger stopped selling assault-style semi-automatic rifles in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho at Fred Meyer stores several years ago, and decided Wednesday to no longer sell those style of guns or special orders for them in Alaska. Oh. They already made some changes, huh? They didn't have to wait around. Okay. Kroger's Fred Meyer chain, which the company acquired through a merger in 1999, sells general merchandise including home items, electronics, sporting goods. Kroger sold roughly $7 million worth of firearms and ammunition out of $115 billion total sales in the 2016 fiscal year. $115 billion industry. Do you see why? I keep telling y'all, you're like, I love the NRA. They fight for our rights. They fight for my rights. And I keep telling you, the gun manufacturers are like, that's right, we fight for your rights. And you can pay right here for that gun. All right. They don't care about you, man. You go outside and blow your head off, they can kill us, man. Long as they're not liable. Do what you want. Shoot who you want. Long as we're not liable. All right. So recent events demonstrate the need for additional action on the part of the responsible gun retailers, said Jessica Edelman, a spokesperson for the Cincinnati-based chain. In response to the tragic events in Parkland and elsewhere, we've taken a hard look at our policies, procedures for firearms sales. We decided we don't want to profit off of death and destruction. You know, it's to be noted, man, we have a lot, many more guns than people in this country. And most gun owners are responsible people. That's true. Problem is, we got some irresponsible assholes, and you should be concerned about them because they're making it harder for you to enjoy what you want to enjoy, which is your firearm. It happens with everything. It's always some losers trying to spoil it, man. Used to happen in my neighborhood, man. Perfectly good club. New club opened up. It's great. It's got great paint. It's got great sound systems. It's got a great DJ. It's got a great crowd. Women are showing up. It's a great place. And what happens? Some dumbass shows up, gets drunk, gets into an argument because someone stepped on his shoe. He pulls out a gun and he shoots into the crowd. Now, the club gets closed down. Somebody gets shot too. That's bad. And next thing you know, they shut down the club. Club had to pack up. Grand opening, grand closing. So it's not just you, man. It happens all the time. These types of things happen. It's always somebody to spoil it for everyone else. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You don't have to agree with it. It's just what happens. And it sucks when it happens. This is America. All right. So then they go into the shooting and the age and all this stuff. And yeah, I don't, you know what? I don't want to go back over the details of the shooting. I know that there's some details about the shooting that people say, Tim Black, this stuff is fishy. I've heard people comment about it. I'm not going there, okay? I'm just not going to go there. I'm just not going to do it. Look. People died. People are responding. Will it change everything? No, it won't. But we got to change some things. We got to tighten up the ship, right? We got too many copycats, okay? Too many copycats. Now, this is interesting because this is another one of those stories. Remember when I told you Donald Trump is making moves that I'm not really sure about? I'm sitting over here, I'm like, I don't know how to look at Donald Trump anymore. He's starting to say things and do things that really make me question, like, hold on, homie. Are you a complete asshole, or are you just partial asshole? Or are you a good guy fighting the deep state, or are you just a bad guy, rich guy, trying to get paid? Like, what are you? And this is one of those stories. Now listen. President Trump on Thursday suggested using the death penalty on drug dealers to address the opiate epidemic. Trump, how about the death penalty on pharmaceutical companies who are the main people pumping those drugs into communities all over this country? How about the death penalty on some of your rich friends and the pharmaceutical companies? They do that bullshit, Trump. How about we do that? I say we do that. I say we do that. That's what I say. This thing won't work. Won't work. Stop going after a little petty ass drug dealer. Go after the makers, the ones running those damn commercials at night that grab anybody that has an elbow. Does your elbow do like this? Does it hurt when you do like this? Well, you need to come down here and buy some of these pills we get you hooked on. What about them, Trump? What about them, Trump? Oh, that's right. They pay lobbyists, so we can't mess with them, right? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I hear stuff like this, and I know Trump can't be that delusional. He can't be that delusional to think some dumbass teenager on a corner selling some pills is the equivalent to somebody writing prescriptions that shouldn't be written. All right. Here's what he said. He says, we have pushers and drug dealers. They are killing hundreds and hundreds of people. If you shoot one person, they give you life. They give you the death penalty. These people can kill 2,000, 3,000 people, and nothing happens to them. Some countries have a very, very tough penalty, the ultimate penalty. And by the way, they have much less of a drug problem than we do. Oh, God. Look, Trump, man, you need to legalize weed, brother. You need to legalize weed. That's what you need to do. Now, opiates, we need to get at the opiate manufacturers and distributors, right, that are flooding this stuff in our communities. And yes, you should hold people selling those drugs responsible for what they're doing. You should, okay? But let's not equate like some ragtag, stop. They still use this boogeyman thing on people. We got the evil drug dealers. Drug dealers don't get people hooked. See, people got to understand how this works. typically with opiates, okay, typically what happens is this. You are already addicted before you go see a drug dealer on the corner. The drug dealer is your second resort or third resort to get the narcotic. You got it originally through a prescription, probably legally, and then you became hooked on it. You can't qualify to continue to get it legally, so that makes you go underground to these dealers. That's typically how it works. I also would like to mention that there are some people who deal with excruciating pain. And for those people, it's important that they have access to drugs to mitigate said pain. So I'm not talking about those people, y'all. I know that there are people who deal with pain, who live with pain. I understand that. I do believe, I think it's called Kratom, right? There are other options for dealing with pain management that are not opiate-based. I know that cannabis is one of those, and Kratom, Kratom. Someone called in about this substance, this naturally occurring solution. And they've also talked about it for years on this show. We've had people call in, as far back as 3 or 4 years ago, talking about options. I'm just disappointed that Trump thinks this is a solution. Yeah, we're gonna kill Julio or I don't know, Javier and Delonte, for selling some opiates on the corner, but we're not going to really go after the real culprits that got people hooked to begin with? All right. It's what we got, guys. It's what we deal with. It's crazy. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope that one of those stories hit home for you. I hope that at some point in the show tonight, while covering one of these stories, you were like, yeah, that's how I feel about that shit. Get him, Tim Black. I hope that happened for you. I think it's magic when that happens. I hope to create more moments like that. So I want to thank you for being a supporter of this show, because I need you in my corner in order to keep doing this and to keep growing what we're doing. Tomorrow is Freedom Friday. You call up into the show and you will get your opportunity to bring an issue to light. You get to share with the audience and let them know what's on your mind. So please be here tomorrow. I'll do my best to be ready at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To all my people out there who have an addiction that you're trying to kick, hang in there. It's difficult. It's tough. I'm with you. I got your back. I'm fighting. You're fighting. We're fighting together, man. And we're just going to hang in there. We're going to be victorious because we're not going to give up. And if you slip and fall, get back up and try again the next day. Or try again immediately. You understand what I'm saying? Because we can conquer our addictions. We can live better, longer, healthier lives. I believe that. I hope you do too. All right, guys. I want to say shout out one more time to Marvin C. and Yogi Fish for being in the house. My people on Facebook, my people on Periscope, my people on YouTube. Team Black, Tim Black's Wolfpack. Don't forget to go get a shirt. It helps support this channel. And I think that's all I got, man. I think that's all I have. Good show tonight, I think. Hit a lot of topics. I love you guys. Keep your head up, and I'll see you tomorrow. And like I always say, don't let nobody take your cornbread. And know this, they are trying to take your cornbread. These bastards will take your cornbread and sell it to the highest bidder. We need to be concerned with our privacy, our rights, and these illegal searches and seizures. We got to do something with that. We really do. All right, guys, I'm gone. I'll see you on the next one.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.